Retail Week is brought to you by Nutrisphere N, Nitrogen Fertilizer Manager, protecting your nitrogen from all three forms of loss. Welcome back, another edition with Eric Sfiligoj. Once again, we're heading kind of into the spring season, getting a sense that things are moving along apace. I'm going to be heading to Washington, D.C. next week. April 5th and 6th is the CropLife America Spring Regulatory Conference. So I'll get to cover a little bit of that, meet some folks there, but also do a bunch of association visits with the Fertilizer Institute and the Ag Retailers Association. Field of markets there as well. So I've got, I think, 5 or 6 appointments lined up for a day and a half. So it's going to be
busy. Yeah,
I mean, using a lot of Uber and Metro, which DC is easy to get around, fortunately, because there's lots of options. So and of course in DC this week we had the executive order that just happened, the Trump signed regarding regulatory rollback on climate change regulation, which seemed like at first it might be dire, but in terms of the environmental groups and reaction, and there certainly will be lawsuits, but it also sounds like it's going to take a number of months, if not years, to have a lot of that unfurl.
we'll see.
We shall see, indeed. So what's going on in your world?
Yeah. Well, one thing, Paul, we found out this week that the European Union has given tentative approval to Dow and DuPont for their merger plans. That's contingent on a few things, though, being divested. And for our folks in the crop protection marketplace, it looks like DuPont will be selling its cereal broadleaf herbicide portfolio and also its chewing insecticide portfolio, and also will be divesting any crop protection R&D research and pipeline products, with the exception of seed treatment and any products that are in late-stage development, which Dow-DuPont will still bring to the market. So, Paul, it'll be interesting. I know we've talked about Bayer and Monsanto and what they're going to be divesting to maybe get their regulatory approval. So, about a year from now, it's going to be real interesting to see who has what brand name products in the crop protection marketplace, because there'll be a lot of different players in the game there.
Yeah, and there's a lot of speculation already about what companies might be willing or capable of taking on those products. I think, BASF is certainly a company that seems to have the resources to do it. It's just a matter of whether it meshes with their current portfolio or what would happen on that front. And I think a number of the companies, down the road from the top 5 or 6 are also in play.
Yeah. So, and like we say, it'll be real interesting to see what happens. And one other thing we have to share on the merger side, we'll get to that in a minute after this short break.
Over the 9+ years, they've done over 400 trials, side-by-side replicated trials, and we've shown that 90% of the time we've had a positive yield response with Nutrisphere. So 90% of the time a crop producer out of those 400+ trials could expect a positive response. That positive response is average 10 bushel an acre across all 400+ trials.
So that was what we had on the merger and acquisition stories going on with crop protection companies. And one other thing to note, Paul, is we've been seeing a lot of cooperatives merge in the last year, and we found out this week that the folks at United Cooperative, one of our CropLife 100 retailers, will be merging with a Greenville Cooperative, another Wisconsin cooperative, and that merger will be as of April 1st, 2017. So for you seeing our video this weekend, that merger will have just taken place.
Yeah, everybody's seeking economies of scale now. I think it's, we're kind of maybe getting to the end of where we see those medium-sized companies getting together, or at least we're pretty well down the path, but there's still some sizable cooperatives that are getting together and creating scale.
Yeah, and then this one, though, it's, United Cooperative is very large, multi-$100-million operation. Greenville, though, specializes mostly in feed and energy, and sales last year of just about $10 million. So
interesting. More diversity and more profit centralized. So,
okay.
Well, that's it for this edition of CropLife Retail Week. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Thank you to this week's video sponsor, Nutrisphere N Fertilizer Manager from Verdesian Life Sciences.